Well, Kenya is just one of many countries in Africa where people struggle to get access to electricity. And one hip-hop singer and record producer is hoping to change that through a new initiative. Five-time Grammy Award nominee Akon has teamed up with Give1 Project and ADS Global Corporation. And together, they've developed the Akon Lighting Project, Africa Project. It aims to bring electricity to 1 million households in Africa by the end of the year. And Akon is joining us now live from New York to discuss the Power Initiative. Thanks very much for being with us on Al Jazeera. We'll discuss in just a moment whether you are close to your goal. But first, let me ask you this. I mean, when you hear statistics, Akon, that 7 out of 10 people in sub-Saharan Africa don't have access to electricity, it must make you think that you have a huge challenge on your hands with the project. So tell us a little bit about it and how it came to be.
Well, actually, of course, everything seems a challenge when you look at those kind of numbers and statistics. Ultimately, of course, I was a child growing up in Senegal, and I didn't have any electricity living in the village myself. So years and years down the line, when I became an adult and successful at what I'm doing, I go back to those same rural areas, and we're still dealing with the same situation. Still no electricity. And the energy grid, unfortunately, doesn't reach out that far outside the city. So ultimately, that was the cause of me thinking about how I can come and create a coalition that can just bring electricity to those rural areas. And
how exactly do you plan on doing that?
Well, we're doing it through solar energy. I teamed up with a company out of China called CGI, and they're pretty much the solar manufacturing group out of China, who actually we worked out a great financial situation for governments who don't have the funds at the moment to where they can pre-finance all the solar systems and have them create a prepayment plan per se, so that way they can afford the system. So to jump it off, I actually used my own finances just to certain villages of a choice of whichever leader we went to in whatever country to pick a village to where we could light up just to show them how real the situation is.
You say the project will support the installation of solar equipment in households, Akon, to improve energy efficiency. But as you know, in Africa, in a lot of African countries, the real problem is the infrastructure. It's a constraint when it comes to doing business there. So how do you go around that?
Absolutely. Infrastructure has been one of our biggest challenges because, as you know, a lot of Africa doesn't have infrastructure. But when you look at the percentages, 85% of the people in Africa don't even have access to electricity. And I don't know how infrastructure can ever be built without electricity itself. So that's happened to be the main focal point for us, to figure out how we can get electricity into the country, so that way at least the infrastructure process can be started.
And from what I understand, you've gone to 9 countries. You aim to bring electricity to 1 million households by the end of 2014. That's about 9 months away. How close are you to that goal?
Yep. Well, we're close to 200,000 now. I think we'll be able to reach our goal before 2014 for sure.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us from New York. That's Akon speaking to us.